What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectible Reviews, coming at you today with another figure review. We are on day 2 of our wave 3 of the TMNT Ultimates line by Super7. We're taking a look at my second most anticipated figure from this wave. Yesterday we took a look at Rocksteady, which was a phenomenal figure. You guys left a lot of comments and they were all positive, so I think it just goes to show the care and the love, the quality that Super7 is really putting behind this line. Let's move on to the next figure. We've got Metalhead. I'm so excited about this figure. I loved when NECA gave us the cartoon version, but I think I may be even more excited about this version, as Metalhead was one of my favorite toys by Playmates back in the late 1980s. So let's take a look at what we got. Typical box here, we got the green box, got the embossed labeling on the front with a Metalhead face imprint there in the middle. Got Metalhead's name here at the bottom, Super7 doing a little logoing there. On the top of our box, we got our Ultimates logo. Spin around to the back, we got a fantastic looking logo of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which gives us all that nostalgic vibe. And as with all these figures, we do have a slip cover that we slip off and reveal the package inside. If you're an inbox collector, these are fantastic. In fact, I'm not really an inbox collector in most cases, but with these I have been buying 2 of all of the actual turtles because I do want to display one in box and one out loose, being that this is my favorite figure line. Taking a look at what we got here, we can see that this guy is packed with accessories. We've got additional heads, multiple hand options. There's some back there kind of behind him. I'm not sure how well those are showing up. The backpack, the radar, all types of things that we're going to take a look at here in just a moment. But Metalhead just looking really, really nice inside that window packaging. The box itself, what we've kind of come to know from Super7. Spinning on around to the backside, we do have a little write-up on Metalhead. We'll bring that in close. If you care to read it, you can pause it. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of his packaging and see what we got. All right, guys, we got our Metalhead out of his packaging and onto the review table, and let me tell you, I am impressed with this figure. As always, let's jump directly into the accessories first. So we'll start off with his hands. As you can see there in his hands, he does have just a pair of holding hands straight out of packaging. We get 2 kind of semi-relaxed open hands. We get 2 fist hands. And then lastly, we get the hand here with the tentacle. And you can see there that the top of the finger is popped off to allow this to come out. I think this is a fantastic addition here. Really like that. It does not have bendy wire. That would have been a really nice touch had they added bendy wire. It is just molded plastic, so it's gonna kind of go right back to its original state. As far as additional accessories, we do have 2 grenades here, which are nicely painted. Kind of a gunmetal gray there, pull ring there, and then green, and sculpt work actually done on the grenade body there. Now, what is Metalhead without his backpack? We get his backpack. It's got a real nice decal there. It does look like that is painted on, so that's pretty cool. Basically, you just have these straps that will go right up over the top of his back. We'll look at it in a moment. He's got 2 portholes there at the top of his chest. That will hold this in place, as well as kind of a peg here, which there's also a peg on his back. Now this is nicely painted. You can see we kind of have some metallic green accent areas painted all around here, kind of like the screw heads there, pizza written twice. Just a really nice accessory here. This was a must-have, obviously, being that this is based on the original 1989 toy. You got his radar, which will plug into the top of that backpack. This is just molded green plastic. We'll take an additional look at this when we get it on him. And then you kind of have a couple options here for the copter accessory. So you have one here that will peg into the hand or into the wrist. It'll peg into the hand port. And then you have one here that will peg into the backpack. So these will not freely spin. They do spin, but there's a lot of friction involved with both of them. Otherwise, they're pretty much identical. You can see they're the same, all except for just, you know, the peg that comes out of the bottom of them. Lastly, we do have multiple head options. Now the head sculpts appear to be the same for the one straight out of packaging as well as this one. Now the difference is this one here is painted red eyes and painted red brain, but they look really, really nice. The one over here does have a light piping feature to it, which I'll show here in a moment. But you can see here, this is kind of an up close. The other head is pretty much the exact same head with the exception of the light piping. So this looks really, really nice. And then lastly, we do get the weapons tree here, which pretty much has everything on it that we've already went over. Just no paint at all on these. It is basically identical to pretty much what we got with the original Playmates line. Let's go ahead and take a closer look here at our Metalhead figure. So I'm going to bring him up. You can see here that we do have a little bit of a different look here on the brain portion of this head. And if I bring in my flashlight, you can really see there the light piping and how that works with the eyes. So this would look really nice, you know, if you were to have this on a shelf that has lighting involved in it. Just a really neat feature there. But again, you do need lighting of some sort to really kind of make that pop, you know what I mean? Now, looking on into the figure here, you can see that this face sculpt, pretty much the same thing we've already seen with the other head sculpt. Moving on down, a lot of gold paint in here. Now, I did notice when I originally pinned in my backpack, it did do a little paint chippage right there. So just something to be aware of, something to look out for. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but you can see that it did damage that paint just a touch. Here on the neck, painted really nice gold color there, spinning around to the back. You can see just a really nice gold paint across the entire back of the shell. Got some different items here on his belt, oil there, kind of looks like a funnel here on this side. We do go ahead and get 2 grenades here on the belt. They're painted in green, the T up front. Lots of sculpt work here in this figure. Coming on down to the legs, you can see just sculpt work and paint everywhere. We do have these 2 wires that do run from the back of the thigh to the back of the calf. They do move and flex there as he articulates there in that joint. So that is something to also be aware of. I could see over time, if you were to really do a lot of articulation here, stressing those, I could see those actually popping out of place. So just something to be aware of, something to be thoughtful of as you articulate your figure. Looking at these arms, same deal, lots of sculpt work, lots of paint, all the way down to the hands there. Just a really nice figure and lots of paint involved in this one. Again, pretty much this entire torso area painted in gold. Definitely something that could be scuffed up. Definitely something to be on the lookout for when you're plugging in your accessories. Let's do a quick run through of the articulation on this guy, as it's pretty standard for what we see with Super7, down to about right there on the head, up to about right there. Full 360 with no problem. As far as in the arms here, we can get them up to there. They're very hindered here by the way these arms are sculpted in. That's as far up as you're going to get them. Now, in this one, we do have a bicep cut where we spoke last night. Rocksteady did not have the bicep cut there. We do get that with Metalhead. 90-degree angle, single jointed elbows. And then on the wrist, pretty much your standard wrist pegs that we see with most any company we look at. We don't have any type of crunch in the abdominal area. You can flex and move from the top of the thighs here. So up under the shell area, much like we see with the turtles, you can flex and move that a little bit. So it could give you a little bit of crunch, a little bit of side to side, a little bit of waist swivel in there, and get those legs way out. As you can see here, these thighs are on a ball there, and that will swivel forward and back with no problems. Single jointed knees, which are extremely hindered just by the bulkiness of his calf. So we can't even get to 90 degrees, maybe 45 degree on that, and that is the maximum amount. Down here in the feet, standard articulation, forward, back, and ankle rockers with no problem. All right, as we said earlier, we are going to go ahead and put on the backpack. So these are going to just come right up over the top of the shoulders, but what you're going to want to do first, you can see the peg hole there in the back. We're just going to peg this peg into his back there, so that will secure nicely. And then this is going to come up and over, and we're going to peg it directly into that hole and directly into that hole. And there you go. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, you can see what he's already wanting to do. So if I were to let him go, he would fall directly over. So it's going to add a lot of weight on the back side of this guy. So just something to be aware of when you're posing him. Now, these are very easy to drop in. We've got the little radar there. It plugs right in just like that. So I'm going to kind of have to hold this guy because he is certainly wanting to fall backwards. So might even have to go with something like a figure stand for Metalhead here if you plan on displaying him with the backpack. And I do. I think the backpack is iconic enough that you kind of have to get the backpack on there. So we got that. Now, if you want to do one of the accessories here on the arm, we can go ahead and pop this one in. Again, this one has the smaller peg like we see on the hands. So you can peg that into one of the hands there, just like so. If you wanted to peg in the additional hand here that has that's pretty cool there. Got the tentacle on it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Mega Red in a sense. Very neat. I do wish that was bendy wire though. I think that would be a really nice addition. So you got that. If you want to pop the heads off, they've made it extremely easy to do head swap outs. We're bringing our additional head. But very easy, just pop the head right back on just like the other one came off. No problems. Now we can sub out the radar here with no problems. That pops out very easy, and you can pop in the helicopter blades right into that spot. There you go. So it's very easy to do these swap outs, very quick. Super 7 did not make it hard. If you slightly lean this guy forward, it does look like he'll hold his balance okay. So again, just something to think about when you plop the backpack on. Be looking out. He's going to be one that's going to fall over occasionally on your shelf. We'll do one last hand swap out here. We do have kind of the semi-open hand. Pop that off of this side. Pop that hand right on. And you can see there, he just wants to fall over. But the swap outs are super, super easy. I think that looks really, really nice there with those swap outs. Let's go ahead and bring in a couple guys for size comparison. All right, just bringing in a couple other guys here. We've got his wave mate and Rocksteady, who is a massive figure. And we got Raphael to kind of show you what just a regular turtle looks like. Size-wise, him and the turtles, I think, are pretty much identical in size. Now, obviously, he has a lot more sculpt work, so I don't think it is a sharing of the body molds, but the body molds are extremely similar in size, almost identical. And there we've got Shredder and Bebop, just to give additional size comparison. See there, a regular human body is obviously taller, which is the way it should be. Metalhead looks fantastic. So kind of as a summary here, I think this is a fantastic figure. It does not surpass my love for Rocksteady at this point. Rocksteady is certainly my favorite figure in this wave and one of the best figures that Super 7 has put out yet. But Metalhead is a fantastic addition to this line and really a must-have, a fan favorite. They did a very good job on the accessories. He is a little bit loose kind of in the upper hip area, and that kind of helps with the top-heavy problem that we have once the backpack goes on. That backpack is a real solid piece of plastic. So with those hips being just slightly loose, it really allows him to go ahead and fall backward very easily, which I could see posing an issue on most of our shelves. So just something to be aware of there. Again, a nice addition. I'm very excited to have this figure in the line. Got two more figures to go in this wave. We've got April O'Neil and Michelangelo. So be on the lookout for those in the coming days. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed to the channel already. And lastly, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this figure. What do you think of this line in general? Love to hear from you guys. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Until next time.